There really is nothing new under the sun, as the old saying goes, and that includes unfounded liberal attacks on conservatives. And today I'll show you the latest one.
Stephen Harper actually announced he wants to increase military presence in our cities, Canadian cities. Soldiers with guns in our cities, in Canada. We did not make this up. Choose your Canada.
I'm giving away my age here, but I love that hilarious liberal attack ad. It's from the 2006 federal election campaign. Now, that's the election that brought Stephen Harper's Conservatives to a minority over the Liberals. The ad is famous, but it never even officially ran on TV, and Liberal leader Paul Martin had to apologize for it in the middle of the 2006 campaign. Imagine making an ad that said the cardigan-wearing, chinchilla-loving, boring old economist Stephen Harper was going to unleash the military on urban Canada. My lord, so stupid. Well, everything old is new again. The Liberals, not being the types to learn from past mistakes, are using that same style of fear-mongering, and I suspect they'll use it to about the same level of success, as in it's probably going to blow up right in their faces. Canada's Immigration Minister, Ahmad Hussein, is accusing the Conservatives of wanting to, quote-unquote, militarize the border to stop asylum seekers from crossing illegally from the United States into Canada. Now, Hussein made the remarks at an event in Ottawa on Tuesday, telling the crowd, and I quote, "I haven't seen anything from the Conservatives. They don't have a plan. You know what their plan is? To militarize the border and place a Canada Border Services Agency official or an RCMP official every 100 meters, unquote. Please, yes, please do that. Please put a cop or a CBSA officer or a military reservist every 100 meters everywhere that illegal border crossing is happening. Yes, please do this until the world figures out that Canada is not a sanctuary country for economic migrants who will not use the front door or proper immigration processing and channels to come into our beautiful country. Now, first, let me just put a marker down right here. I'm not against immigration. I'm probably pretty pro-immigration when I think about it, but I believe it should benefit Canada. It should be merit-based, controlled, and careful, and should address the economic needs of Canada. And it really doesn't do anybody any favors to take the developing world's middle class and makers and then import them into Canada to damn them to become chronic welfare recipients. This is bad for Canada, of course, but it's also bad for the developing country or the war-torn country trying to rebuild itself. And it's certainly bad for the immigrant too. When you think about it, it's the opposite of compassion, really. And besides, grown-up countries are supposed to have rules about how you can get into their country, and they are supposed to have people who then enforce those rules at the border. So if securing the border and applying the rules we already have in this country to the border is what the Liberals would call militarization, then yeah, give her. About half of Canadians want decreased immigration levels. Only 6% want immigration levels to be increased, which logically means that the overwhelming majority of Canadians want the border to be secured and immigration laws applied. But the Liberals are so out of touch that they're trying to fear-monger Canadians with things you actually want them to do. Hussein went on to tell the reporters that, quote, "We don't have the resources for that kind of half-baked, impractical plan," unquote. I've got a couple of points to make here. Of course I do. We did an access to information investigation here at The Rebel that found that migrant families are receiving $50,000 per year in cash supports. A Toronto Sun report by Anthony Fury on the Parliamentary Budget Office's findings into the cost of illegal border crossing pins the price tag for Canadians at over $1.1 billion spread across 3 years. This is directly from that report. This is largely due to larger projected wait times for migrants to complete the necessary asylum claim process. This is a result of projected inflows being greater than the capacity of the federal organizations to process these claims, leading to greater expenses for federal health insurance costs. Now, according to the report, the annual cost per illegal migrant will be over $16,500 in 2019, and each rejected claimant will cost nearly $34,000. First, how is it that the Liberals are able to find resources to process people before they ever even get into the country, and then find resources to house them, provide health care, and then pay welfare to these people who illegally jumped immigration queues ahead of others carefully waiting their turn? But the federal government, by Hassan's own admission, doesn't now have the resources to simply secure the border. And secondly, despite what Hassan is saying about a so-called plan, the Conservative Party of Canada has never said that they have a plan to militarize the border. Not once, not ever. It's sad, but it's true. This is a boogeyman plan the immigration minister completely invented in his own mind. Conservatives have said they only want to close a loophole in the safe third-party agreement that these illegal border crossers are abusing. That's all they've ever said. The so-called militarization of the border is a bad dream that Hassan is having, and quite frankly, a fantasy that I have. And if our immigration minister really cared about immigrants of the legal sort, he'd make his nightmare a reality. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Hey, have you downloaded the Rebel Media mobile app yet? It's available on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and there's something really handy inside that app. Did you know that all of our shows are available as podcasts? So now you can download us and take us with you wherever you go.